Okay, here's a demonstration of the modified software for the V6. There's a couple of important things that have been done to it, but it's not terribly different than it was before. It just works better. Alright, first off, I'm going to turn it on and notice that the screen loads a little bit faster than it did before. It's not a whole lot, just a little bit. Okay. The first and foremost things that I've added to it on the main screen here, you'll notice that down here for the CW stuff, you got your words per minute and your tone, just like you had before. But you also have a letter. In this case, it's a B, which means that I have selected iambic B at the moment on my key. It also has an A and an H if you select the hand key. So you don't have to worry or guess about what it was you had selected or whether or not the selection you made actually worked. Because, you know, the knob is twitchy and you might select iambic A, but you'll end up with iambic B and you have to go back and do it again. That can happen. Alright, so there's that. The other thing is, you'll notice here it's got 18040 up there. That's because the 17 now works. So you can select 17 if you want to. Words per minute is the only CW function that still remains on the main screen. The other CW functions like tone and delay have been moved to another menu, which is here. You see MNU, that's menu. If you select that menu, you get to go to another menu. And you can do your CW delay, the keyer, and the tone selection just like you did before. You just press the button, you go to a screen for the delay, you dial in your delay, and you press the button to save it. So you got your keyer and the tone, the same thing, but there's an option here that you didn't have before for setup. And the setup is your setup menu that you used to have to get to by holding the key for a really long time, and now you don't. And you got your frequency and your BFO and the touch screen, all the same stuff you had on the setup before. However, this time you've also got a default for the EEPROM. So if you happen to brick this thing, get it locked up to where you can't get it to work like mine was this morning, it wouldn't put out any power, it wouldn't receive anything, it wouldn't transmit, it wouldn't do anything. You can default the EEPROM, and if you do that, then you have to start over with the frequency and the BFO calibration. But there's an advantage on that now. Let's look at the frequency, for instance. It comes up with the last setting that you used for the frequency. So you don't have to start over from 0 again and go guessing. You should be pretty close. You might need to tweak it. So, if you're trying to zero the thing in and you set a calibration like this and you go back and you use it for a while and say, no, I'm about 50 cycles off or something like that, you can come back in and twitch it again without having to start all over. And the BFO works the same way. So you get it, and you're done. Okay, now if you do have to go down here to the EEPROM, you get a new menu for that. And it asks you, are you sure? Defaults to no, because normally you do not want to do this. But, and you can roll the knob and get to your yes and no back and forth like that. And we can exit off of that. And you're good. Okay, one other big thing that I did. You got the frequency lock now. So if you've got VFO A selected, you just tap it and it's locked. And now, the frequency won't change. If you happen to turn on RIT during this time, it takes the lock off because you don't need a lock with RIT. So it takes those off, but there you are. Now if you transmit while while A is selected there, let's turn that off. See, that automatically transmitted. It clipped off the last digit of the transmit frequency. There just isn't enough room to get all that stuff on this line, so that happens on this. If you happen to be doing that on B, that doesn't happen. There's enough room on that side, but this side there just wasn't enough. So you're going to just clip that off, but it doesn't matter because that's locked. It's not changing. The change takes place up there in the A VFO. And that concludes the demonstration, except for one thing. If you do lock a frequency, okay, now that frequency is locked, if you select one of these things down here, like trying to go to another band, it won't go. If you select, you can change the USB and LSB, you can turn on CW, you can't go to frequency because you're locked. So if you start punching buttons and nothing happens, oops, that's because I hit words per minute, you can do that. Then you know, it won't do those things if you've got a lock turned on. Turn the lock off, just tap it again. And that's it. Alright, if you decide you like this and you want a copy, just email me and we'll try to figure a way to get it to you. I can send it to you on email if you can set up your computer to load it to the radio. There are ways to get this done. Don't panic. That's it. Thanks for watching.